We have built the backbone of retail distribution in Africa. And I'll tell you how. Meet Eva, the founder and CEO of Zawadi Industries, based in Kenya, but with a presence in 2 other African countries. Eva produces a range of 150 products, which she sells across 250,000 retail outlets. Eva has deployed 500 field sales agents out there to sell. Some are using vans, some are using motorbikes, some are merchandisers in supermarkets, and some are order bookers who collect orders that would later be delivered by delivery agents. In an environment with stiff competition and increase in costs, Eva has a risk in her long-term sustainability because how does she know who's working, where they are working, who they are selling to, and even what they are selling? That's where we come in. We help the field sales agents sell more and efficiently by leveraging powerful insights that help them drive conversation, increase their productivity, and collect a lot of data that give Eva and her team end-to-end real-time visibility on field activities and data for their day-to-day and strategic decision-making. We've helped businesses like Eva make 10 times faster decisions, increase their revenues by over 100%, reduce order-to-delivery time by over 80%, and in the process catalyze over 2,000 jobs, and at Solutech, we have 50 full-time employees. Our business is software as a service, where we charge a per user per month license. And in the past 10 years, we are bootstrapped and profitable, with over $5 million in revenue, over 1.5 million in annual recurring revenue, with 100 customers across 11 countries in Africa. By 2027, our goal is to serve over 1,500 customers, catalyze more than 5,000 jobs, and get to $7 million in annual recurring revenue. And with ABH Prize, it will help us in boost our growth across Africa and boost our capacity in AI and machine learning. But where did all this start? 10 years ago, we were jobless computer scientists, and that was after going unpaid for 6 months in my first role. Tried a number of things, including watermelon farming and starting a fast food restaurant, which both failed, but with great lessons. And today, we have built the backbone of retail distribution in Africa and an equal opportunity employer. This is part of my leadership team, and this is the team that has made the dream work. Thank you. Yes.
And now we start with Judge Fred.
Congratulations, Alex. Well done.
Thank you, Fred.
So can you tell me a bit about competition? Who are your main competitors, and why is your product better than theirs?
Great. So some of our competition are, of course, manual methods, number one, and companies that use WhatsApp. But we also have companies from India, from Asia, and Europe. The reason why we are better is because our product is agile. And by this I mean, having innovated from Kenya and other countries around East Africa and Africa, we have really mastered the route to market models of these countries. They are very unique. And I'll give an example. When Pepsi wanted a tool for their market in Ethiopia, they searched for Southern Africa. We have competition there. They use in other markets tools from Asia, but those didn't satisfy what was needed for Ethiopia. But when they engaged us, we went with zero customization. So we've understood the dynamic route to market models of the markets in Africa, and we've also understood the culture. How do you need to communicate? How do you need to train? How do you need to work with these users? So there's a secret. And even again on customer service is the second thing. So understanding of our route to market model, customer service, and of course, we are made in Kenya for Africa.
Congratulations, Alex.
Thank you.
And this is a business that is profitable for the past many years, so good job.
Thank you.
So my question to you is out of curiosity. I'm Pepsi, and you support me, in my retail distribution.
Yes.
If my friend is Coca-Cola, how do I trust you not share my data with my competitor?
Interesting question. And I'll surprise you. In Kenya, we have all the 3 largest oil manufacturers, all the largest maize flour manufacturers, and it's a very good question. So all of these companies are unique in their operations. The way Pepsi operates and the way Coca-Cola operates are very different. And then we have very solid mechanisms of privacy, our agreements on privacy. So we've signed very solid agreements on privacy, and you can imagine what level of trust we've been able to create that very big competitors can trust to work with us. We host very critical information of their day-to-day. So I would say trust, not just on paper that is signed on confidentiality, but trust that we've created as the foundation since we started the business.
Great. I mean, if you manage to onboard competitors, that means you have clear Chinese walls, between the data.
Yes.
So good job.
Yes.
So I'm looking at your projections, and I've seen your, total revenues increasing, exponentially year on year. Great.
Yes.
But I'm wondering about your gross profit margins.
Uh-huh.
And I'm looking at 24 and your projections from 24, 25, and you expect these to increase. How?
So first of all, the documents that we submitted, we didn't change what the projections are for the sake of consistency. I participated in ABH in 2023. Now, again, there is data that I gave, and I didn't want to make it change. Yeah, so the gross profit is attributed to some regulatory changes, the difference. You're talking about how it's grown 2024. So there are regulatory changes that happen when it comes to...
What are those?
So it's in terms of things that we are now allowed to claim. There's automation on our tax system that now there are things, for example, cloud hosting and subscriptions that we use that were not claimable before, but now have come into that. So those are some of the parameters that had attributed to that change. Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much, Alex. I think that the problem you're solving is critical for the growth of the average trader, because we have such a huge trade economy across the continent.
Yes.
And even at the small level or medium level, data is more difficult for them to collect.
Sure.
But I see that your tool, while it can help a lot of the small and medium-sized businesses as well, you're largely deploying at this point to the bigger guys. Now,
Correct.
so what is your strategy? Because the largest part of the market is in that small and medium size. So how do you plan to be able to deploy this in order to actualize the growth potential that is within that sector, but offering them the same kind of true tool to track what their sales is like?
Fantastic question. So right now we are focusing on the manufacturers and distributors. In our plan, we've actually created a product called DukaSoft. And this is a B2B platform that allows let's say you're a distributor, it allows you to have a B2B channel where your customers can also order to you directly on a B2B channel. And what we're planning to do on DukaSoft is now enable managing of businesses through the same tool. So imagine if retailers out there have a tool that they can manage their businesses, and at the same time, they're able to place orders to their suppliers. So that is the plan that we have. And since we have like for example, in our markets, all the major manufacturers and most of the major distributors, you can imagine how powerful that will be. So that is our plan. It's in our innovation plan.
It's in the works.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So Alex, can you tell us about how you use artificial intelligence in your software?
Fantastic. So we have a couple of things that we've done. Number one, we are using predictive analytics through AI. So there are specific tools that we are using. And what this is used for is when the salespeople come to the retail outlets, they can actually know what this customer can buy. That's what I talked about, helping driving conversations. The van salespeople, when they are uplifting stock, they don't just uplift blindly. The predictive analytics are what are used to get to inform them what they need to load onto the vehicle. Number two, we have a very powerful tool for feedback collection. We use AI to do sentiment analysis on the same. And the beauty of the sentiment analysis that does not just tell you what's happening, but gives you recommendations on what to do. Number three, there is logistics automation, so load planning and route optimizations. Imagine if you have 500 orders today, you want to allocate those to 70 vehicles. How will you pick one by one as you allocate to these vehicles? What our machine learning model does is it picks all these orders and does load distribution and optimizes the routes. And number four, I'll share the last one, image recognition. In supermarkets, traditionally, merchandisers would come and count the things that are on the shelves. But what we've done, and we've already kicked that off with P&G in Kenya, the merchandisers just take a picture of the shelf, and it calculates for them the product availability and the share of shelf to make work easier. So those are some of the few things we've done with AI, and more are in the works. Oh, and our goal now with AI is to use natural language processing on our web dashboards. Imagine if you are a manager or the CEO, you don't have to ask anybody for reports. You will just go onto our dashboard and you type, can you give me the top 10 moving products within the last month? And it gives you that report. So that's our goal by the end of this year in terms of AI.
Can I ask you, Can I ask you a question quickly? Is it possible for your system to aggregate the data for each client straight to the customer? Like a P&G, assuming all of their information that is tracked using your app and all of that. Is it possible for the information to go to them rather than to you?
Yes. Let me answer, then you'll tell me if I've gotten it correctly. So for multinationals, for example, P&G and Coca-Cola and Wrigley's, we aggregate data and send to them on a daily basis because they have different markets that they sell in, and at the end of the day, they need the data relayed to them so that they also do their own analysis. I don't know, did I get it right? Thank you.
How much of your company do you own?
25%.
So you've been diluted by 75%?
No, we are 4 co-founders.
There are 4 co-founders. So
Yes.
you guys own, everyone has 25 each?
Everyone has 25.
So you haven't raised any external capital?
Come again?
You haven't raised any...
We haven't raised external capital.
Why?
Good question. We started a great business, and we've seen a lot of growth. We've seen good trajectory of growth with own revenue. But I'll start it this way. When we began the business, we really wanted a solid product that customers would pay for. Let me not talk about trauma that I had in my past employment where we went 6 months unpaid because the company depended on funds. So I promised, with my co-founders, we promised ourselves that let's build something that is sustainable, first of all, by itself. Yes, but we have not closed doors for that in the future.
Okay, I understand. So you wanted to build something that was sustainable, and congratulations, you've done that. you've been in business for several years. You've got 90%. You've got about 90% gross margins.
Yes.
You're profitable. So, at what point do you feel you're going to overcome your fear of getting external investors so you can really scale this business?
I have already overcome the fear of getting investors onto the business. Yeah. So we are ready to scale and to scale even more. And
How much of your company are you willing to give up?
how much are we willing to give up?
Yeah, if someone came to you with $4 million and they said they want to buy a stake in your company, how much would you give them?
It depends on the value proposition. We sit down, we discuss. There's something I learned last year about how much Bill Gates owns of Microsoft, less than 2%. We need to build things that will supersede us. So for me, the business was like this when we began it, and the more it grows, I know it will go out of my hand. So I'm ready to create it to be, yeah.
Thank you very much. I think you're amazing. I love your smile.
Thank you. Thank you very much.